Billy Higgins was a drummer who didn't play loud, but he had everybody in the place shaking their head. He had such an even groove and a beat that it was captivating.
It's the Drum Hang. You guessed it. Today we're talking about Billy Higgins. In my first episode on Billy Higgins, we listened to some of his comping examples. Some of my favorite comping examples that showed his use of repetition, his clear phrasing, his not always marking the top of the form, so that each solo, each song has this great overarching sense of propulsion and sense of movement. So, of course, when we listened to his comping, we also heard how everything he played with his left hand went perfectly with his amazing ride cymbal beat, right? His syncopation, his use of just these sort of legato eighth notes constantly, no matter which hand was playing, is really, really inspiring. But today, we're going to get into Billy Higgins Solo Vocabulary. So, before we get into Billy Higgins Solo Vocabulary, Part 1, the record of the day. Cedar Walton, the trio. David Williams on bass, of course Billy Higgins on drums. Of course the Cedar Walton trio was an amazing vehicle for Billy Higgins because his eighth notes and Cedar Walton's eighth notes were the same eighth notes. They just locked in, they had a very special musical connection on everything they recorded. But I really have a soft spot in my heart for this trio, for these records. It's a 3-volume set. There's volume 1, 2, and 3. This being volume 1, which is actually, they're all great. This is my favorite of the 3 if I had to pick. But if you're new to Billy Higgins, this is a great one to search out. Just, you get his sense of cleanliness, precision, swing, solo vocabulary, orchestration, how he is just propelling everything that is played around him to a whole nother place. He's just incredible on this record, so I can't recommend it more. Check out Cedar Walton, the trio. So category 1 of Billy Higgins Solo Vocabulary is what I call moving melodies, or movable melodies, where he's using different stickings and moving around the drums to get these really interesting and fun melodic ideas. So the first sticking that he uses a lot is a left-left-right. Go. In this clip, you can see how he's basically improvising, getting around the set, doing left-left-right. It's very smooth. Check it out. The second sticking in this moving melodies category that Billy Higgins uses a lot is a right bass drum. Okay, so first one was left, left, right, and now the second one is right, right bass drum. In this next clip, it's a 4-measure clip. In measures 3 and 4, Billy Higgins is trading, and in this 4-measure phrase, in measures 3 and 4, he first plays a left, left, right, left, left, right, left, left, right between the floor tom and the bass, and the floor tom and the snare drum, and then he ends the phrase with right, right bass drum. So this is the first 2 stickings in the Moving Melodies section put to good use and swinging. Here's Billy Higgins. Check it out. Now the third sticking he uses a lot is very similar to the first 2, but it's right, right, left. And in this next clip, it's very clear. He's playing right, right, left, right, right, left, with those rights being on the downbeat. Each 3-note, sticking is a quarter note, right? So this is Billy Higgins' Afro-Cuban beat that you've probably heard a million times, and if you haven't thought about it or watched him do it, this is what it looks like. Right, 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 left, with the right on the cymbal and the left moving the melody around the drums and snare drum with the cross stick. Check this out. Super bad beat. The last 2 stickings in this category are very closely related to the first, but I call it the reverse ride cymbal. So instead of a quarter note and 2/8, Billy Higgins will play 2/8 and a quarter. You'll hear a ton of jazz drummers play this all the time, but it's a sticking and a melodic idea that Billy Higgins uses constantly. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1 and 2, 3 and 4, da ga da, do do do, di di di, do do do, do do do, ga. Right? So a lot of times it's a 3-note phrase, da da da, da da da, da da da. A lot of times it's a 3-note phrase, da da da, da da da, da da da. He'll also add a bass drum to make it a 4-note phrase. So it'll be da da da, da da da, ga ga da, da da da, da da da, ga. Category 1 stickings. Phrase, reverse cymbal beat. reverse cymbal beat with the added bass drum. Added bass drum, here it is in a playing context. So, Billy Higgins Solo Vocabulary, Category 2, 6-stroke rolls. Billy Higgins uses 6-stroke rolls a lot. A lot of us do because they feel good, they're easy to play at a lot of different tempos, and they're very useful, right? So the 6-stroke roll sticking is right, left, left, right, right, left, right. Okay? Right, left, left, right, right, left, right. 6-stroke roll. I'm going to play it on the drum set so you can hear it really slow, and then I'm going to show you 2 different ways that you can play it, that Billy Higgins plays it, that I enjoyed playing it as well. So here it is, 6-stroke roll. There's 2 main ways that I hear Billy Higgins play this 6-stroke roll idea, and that I actually utilize it a lot myself. The first is to only accent the beginning right. The second way is to accent the left before the right. So it's either or. Okay, that left accent really gets you into this flow, and that if you start looping those 6-stroke rolls like that, you really get this nice left-right accent happening. And so here's Billy Higgins using the first option really at a fast tempo. He's really accenting the rights, and he's getting around the toms. You can hear it. Here it is. Times Higgins will mix the right, right, left, or left, left, right, whichever is sticking, and then mix in the 6-stroke roll. So we'll get a phrase like this. Billy Higgins also uses this 6-stroke roll coming off the ride cymbal onto the snare drum. And it's really fun to play, it's really slick, and it's great to throw in as a comping device to add energy into the music without stopping the sound of the cymbal. So here it is. This is the 6-stroke roll coming off the cymbal onto the snare drum, creating a really great flow. Check it out. The important part here is that it flows, the doubles are clean, but also you get a good left accent. It's left-right. Just like I talked about looping it on the snare drum, accenting the left and the right. So if you accent only the right, it sounds like this. Which is actually kind of hard to do. But if you accent that left before the single right, it's this. So the third category for this episode is alternating single strokes. The more I listen to Billy Higgins play, the more I'm like realizing how many single strokes he uses. A drummer, say like Philly Joe Jones, or somebody like in that mold, like Alan Dawson, Art Taylor, they don't use as many single strokes that I hear, at least. Somebody like Elvin doesn't, right? It's like, but Higgins is using single strokes a lot of different ways to get around the kit, to get some different sounds and patterns happening. Single strokes is this 5-note grouping, where he's really using right hand lead to create a melody. So I'll play it for you on the drum set so you can then listen for alternating single strokes 5-note phrase. It's really right hand lead around the drum set then. I mean, you can cross over. The next alternating single stroke idea that you'll hear Billy Higgins play a lot is this alternating sticking between the ride cymbal and the snare drum with triplets, where every fourth triplet note is on the cymbal. It sounds hard to explain. It's really not that hard to get in your ear, but he plays it all the time. It's a great thing to play as an extra sort of comping pattern to get some energy into the music when need be without stopping the sound of the cymbal. The last example of Billy Higgins playing single strokes is him really using it as a texture. Sometimes if he's playing an open drum solo, meaning that he's not trading in time in the form of the song, it's just open drums, you'll hear Billy Higgins use a lot of single strokes, sometimes as just a texture or like sort of a vibe. He's creating a vibe by playing these single strokes. There's some older footage of him playing with Sonny Rollins that I'll show you right now where he's playing these single strokes. And then there's other video where he's using mallets and he's really creating really cool melodies and a really great atmosphere by these different single stroke voicings around the kit. And he does it very fast. Like, he can really play on any instrument, whether it's any of his cymbals, hi-hat, rims, drums, it doesn't matter. He had very clean and fast single strokes that he used very effectively. And I think that we can too. It sometimes gets forgotten about, right? Because we want to get away from our single stroke ways. But Billy Higgins shows us that it can be swinging and effective and exciting. So check these examples out. The great Billy Higgins. So we're going to close this episode by watching a really great Billy Higgins solo where he uses all three categories we talked about today. Moving melodies, 6-stroke rolls, and the alternating single strokes. You can see him use all three of those a lot in this solo. It's from the same concert with Dexter Gordon, and it's not on the form of the song. It's just an open drum solo. So Billy Higgins has a lot of artistic freedom to play what he wants, how he wants, and to go in all sorts of different tempos, volumes, textures, and grooves. It's a great solo. Watch for these three characteristics. They're totally in there many, many times. All right, so thanks for checking it out. I'm looking forward to making the second part of this episode actually right now, where it's going to cover completely different solo vocabulary, deal with different videos, different solos, and a whole bunch of stuff. So thanks for checking it out. Come back soon. Check out more Billy Higgins Solo Vocabulary because, as you know, Billy Higgins is the man, the master, the great, the legendary. So enough of me yapping. Take it away, Billy Higgins.